Hello. So this is for the note of all participants. All of you are expected to be seated in the front rows of the auditorium in the order of your team codes, please. Immediately. 2001. First row. First row on your left. TC2. Sorry. Okay. TC3. Okay. Just leave 3 seats apart. TC4. Okay. 5. TC5 is here. 6. 7. 8. Yes, move front. We don't have all day. 9. Move forward. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. Yes, you guys come this side. Yeah. In order. In order of your team codes. 15. This side. The first row. The first row. 16. This side. 17. Follow them. Where's 17? Yeah, come forward. 18. 19. 20. Yes, you will follow accordingly. And quick. 21. Okay. Where is 16? Come forward and sit quickly. We want to figure out who all are here and not here. Sit 15 and above this side. 15 and above should be seated this side. Managers ensure that the participants have occupied the front rows in the auditorium. The chief guest has arrived. Kindly seats quickly. Occupy your seats quickly. Participants, volunteers are seated at the back. Occupy your seats after the participants. Now, get up. Volunteers, get up. Come forward. I don't have all day. Come. Chief guest has already arrived. Hello. Hello.
I request the audience to raise to their feet as the dignitaries enter the auditorium.
Please raise.
I request the dignitaries to occupy the seats on the stage. Please be seated. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Esteemed Chief Guest, Director Father Gerald D'Souza SJ, Principal Dr. Pauline Priya S, Vice Principal Ms. Shobha Hegde, faculty members, participants, and dear volunteers. A very warm welcome to the 4th National Moot Court Competition hosted by St. Joseph's College of Law.
We have with us today Professor Dr. V.S. Elizabeth, an esteemed and celebrated academic guest. Madam, we are immensely grateful to you for your presence. I now invite the Cultural Committee of St. Joseph's College of Law to render the invocation. Yes.
Thank you, Cultural Committee, for that soulful rendition.
Established in the year 2017, St. Joseph's College of Law is a pioneer Jesuit college in South Asia that is strengthened with a 450-year-old legacy of imparting quality education through the Jesuit mission of molding students into people of competence, conscience, and compassion dedicated to the service of faith and the promotion of justice. In pursuance of the noble Jesuit motto, Fide et Labor, St. Joseph's College of Law was founded on the ideals of practicing law, promoting justice, and transforming society. emboldened with a vision to transform the lives of people by bringing about a just and egalitarian society. The college believes in a steadfast focus to bridge law and governance with a human rights approach. While the third edition of this competition witnessed remarkable participation of 32 teams across the top law schools of India, this edition of the competition has been conceived with the aim of understanding the convergence of human rights and personal law. This has been designed with the vision to enrich the knowledge of aspiring lawyers in keeping with the mission to actively bridge law and governance through legal education while developing cutting edge skills in research, writing, and advocacy.
Today, we gather here to celebrate the spirit of learning and the pursuit of justice. The competition has witnessed an overwhelming response with participants from the law schools across India engaging in rigorous research, eloquent advocacy, and spirited debates.
Together, we are committed to fostering an environment that upholds the principles of justice, compassion, and competence. Let us make this event a celebration of knowledge, growth, and camaraderie. Now, to symbolize the beginning of this event, we will have the lighting of the lamp. I kindly invite the chief guest, Professor Dr. V.S. Elizabeth, Director Father Gerald D'Souza SJ, Principal Dr. Pauline Priya, Vice Principal Ms. Shobha Hegde, Finance Officer Father Prashant, Faculty Coordinators Mr. Thomas Chakramakal, Mr. Zafar Sadiki, and Ms. Aprishita Marak, along with student coordinators Mrs. Sagarika, Mr. Swapnil, and Ms. Sona to the left side of the dais to light the lamp. Thank you, everyone. Now, let us hear the words of welcome from our respected principal, Dr. Pauline Priya, who has been a driving force behind this remarkable event.
Respected chief guest, Professor Dr. V.S. Elizabeth, Director Father Gerald D'Souza SJ, Vice Principal Ms. Shobha, Finance Officer Father Prashant Sequeira SJ, faculty members, students, participants, a very warm welcome to each one of you to the inaugural program of the fourth national level moot court competition at St. Joseph's College of Law, Bangalore. Today marks a significant milestone in the academic calendar as we gather to embark upon a journey of legal acumen and advocacy. This year, we've chosen the theme of Uniform Civil Code as the moot court problem for our competition. This theme holds immense relevance in our diverse social legal landscape, reflecting the dynamic nature of our legal system and the imperative of equitable justice for all citizens. Jesuit institutions rooted in the values of academic excellence, social justice, and ethical responsibility provide a fertile ground to discuss and debate such pertinent social legal issues. At St. Joseph's College of Law, we strive to nurture not only legal proficiency, but also a deep sense of social consciousness among our students. This is reflected in the theme identified for this year's MOOT Court competition. We're honored to have with us today our chief guest, Professor Dr. V.S. Elizabeth, whose scholarly insights and contributions to the legal field inspire us all. On behalf of the Director, Father Gerald, our Vice Principal, Ms. Shobha, and the Finance Officer, Father Prashant, I extend a warm welcome to you once again, Madam. To all participants who have joined us across the country, I welcome you to St. Joseph's College of Law. I welcome you to the beautiful city of Bangalore. Dear participants, I commend your hard work and commitment in preparing for this competition. Your participation not only showcases your legal powers, but also demonstrates your passion for law and its transformative potential. As we commence this competition, let us uphold the spirit of fairness, professionalism, and camaraderie. May this event be a platform for rigorous debate, critical thinking, and meaningful exchange of ideas. Once again, I extend a warm welcome to each one of you. Thank you for being present here and for your valuable support.
Thank you, Principal Ma'am, for your inspiring words. Now it's time to gain valuable insights from a very special person to all at St. Joseph's College of Law. It's my privilege to invite our director, Father Gerald D'Souza, SJ, who has been a guiding force in shaping this institution to address the gathering.
Good evening to one and all gathered here, and a warm welcome to St. Joseph's College of Law. We're happy to host the 4th National MOOT Court competition. As you are aware, mooting is a learning exercise as well as a thinking exercise, and therefore we expect all our participants you have come prepared for this event. We want that event not to be reduced only for a competition, but to be a thinking exercise and thinking responsibly for our nation, which our young minds putting together their ideas for a better nation is the need of the hour. We are called to think seriously for our nation, for our better society. Therefore, I invite all of you to be, and we want to see in each one of you that argumentative Indian where the reason and the logic should dominate our thinking and presentation. We need a wisdom today in our country to distinguish between ideology fashioned by emotion and rule of law based on sound reasoning. Most often, these are mistaken one for the other, and therefore we invite a lot of confusion, a lot of problems, and we do argue without sound reasoning, and we invest our passions and emotions perhaps in the wrong foundation. And that is the constant worrisome scene or scenario that we experience in almost all the spheres in our country, including our judiciary at times. Therefore, it's a time today to sit back and to see what exactly is expected from the young budding lawyers who are going to build the nation today and perhaps tomorrow. Therefore, we have carefully chosen this theme of uniform civil code in a way to think for the nation. And uniform civil code is the bus. Therefore, we should say how it can be relevant, how it can be reasonable, and how can be justifiable in a context of diversity that exists in our country. I think there is much more to debate, much more to think, and much more to look beyond. Therefore, I wish all the participants good luck. Let it be a celebration of learning. Let it be a celebration of research. And let there be a celebration of arguments, listening to one another and learning beyond our own mindset, beyond our own perspectives and worldview. We are also very grateful. We have chief guest in the person of Professor Elizabeth with us. She has got a lot of experience, and I believe she will inspire all of us with her vast experience and insights that she will tell us how to take what we are envisioning forward, especially in and through this event. My special appreciation to our MOOT Code Society, the faculty coordinators, Mr. Thomas Andrews, Mr. Zafar, and Ms. Aprichida, and also all the student coordinators and student volunteers who have put their hands together, minds together to make this event a reality. And all the persons, staff, support staff who are really working hard to make this event a reality. I appreciate all their hard work, and you will see next 2 days their meticulous planning and execution. Once again, dear students, a warm welcome. Feel at home at SJCL. Our volunteers and our coordinators are there for you. Any of your concerns, please feel to address. We will try to reach out as much as we can. Therefore, once again, I heartily welcome you to this event. As I told you, let this be a time for us to celebrate, learn from one another, and responsibly to think for our nation. So once again, a warm welcome and God bless us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Father, for the enlightening address. It's now time for the much awaited moment as we have a distinguished person who holds a significant position in the legal field. Professor Dr. V.S. Elizabeth Ma'am joined NLS in September 1991. During the period between 1991 and 2019, Ma'am taught core courses in history and also taught optional seminar and elective courses to both 5 years BA LLB and LLM students from a feminist perspective. This included courses on violence against women understanding, sexual violence against women, and state responses to it through feminist lenses. History of rights, women's rights, and women law and development. Prior to joining NLS, Professor Elizabeth Ma'am was a UGC Senior Research Fellow at the Department of History, Mangalore University. Ma'am was on a leave from 30th December 2019 to 30th June 2023, during which Ma'am served as a Vice Chancellor to the Tamil Nadu National Law University. She resumed her responsibility at NLS from 1st July 2023. Currently, Professor Elizabeth Ma'am is the President of All Indian Association of Legal History and President of the Managing Committee of Equitable Tourism Option. She is also a member of the Academic Council of NLU, position held by Ma'am. She has been a founder member of the governing board of the International Association of Law Schools. She was appointed member of the High-Level Committee on the Status of Women, Government of India in the year 2012 and 13, and resource person on gender issue at the National Judicial Academy due to her insights on gender issues and contribution to the teachings of feminist jurisprudence. She has also been an external member to the Internal Complaints Committee of numerous organizations, Central Power Research Institute, Bangalore 2015 to 19, National Institute of Public Policy and Child Development 2018 to 19, Center for Cellular and Molecular Platform, UAS, and Vishveshwaraya Industrial and Technological Museum 2019. She has served as a member of the Internal Ethics Committee of St. Mark's Hospital and Baptist Hospital, Bangalore. Now, I would like to welcome Professor Dr. V.S. Elizabeth Ma'am to deliver Chief Guest Address.
Good evening, everyone. Respected Father D'Souza, Dr. Pauline, the principal, Ms. Hegde, and Mr. Prashant, respected faculty of the St. Joseph's College of Law, all the students of St. Joseph's College of Law, as well as the participating teams from the different law colleges or law schools and institutions from around the country. I, at the outset, want to thank Dr. Pauline for inviting me to deliver this inaugural address at the inauguration of this competition, MOOT court competition that St. Joseph's College of Law has been holding for the last few years. It is really heartening to see so many teams here, and especially for me to see so many women students as the team members. In a profession and in a society where, despite the constitutional guarantees and international covenants which talk about equality of the sexes, the reality has been there is little encouragement or facilitation of women's participation at different levels to access their rights and to live lives of dignity. It is really heartening to see that the law colleges, the law schools, and other institutions teaching law have ensured that there are women students who are encouraged to go and participate in a MOOT court at the national level. I've gone through the problem and the issues that have been flagged that you're going to be arguing over the next few days. And seeing that some of the, since it is essentially based on the idea of a need for a uniform civil code, there are a few things that I wanted to comment on, and I hope that I will manage to do that without taking too much time of yours as you prepare for the MOOT court. Firstly, of course, for law students, participating in MOOT court, of course, is not the way in which arguments are made in the courts. A lot of us imagine that if you're good mooters, we're going to make good lawyers. Not necessarily. But participating in MOOT court competitions, the MOOT court exercise within your institutions and in these events is important because it inculcates in you basic skills which are at the core of the legal profession, and for that matter, any academic career. Research. You can't possibly make a good argument without doing good research, accessing every source that is available, looking at all the judgments, and looking at what has been written about the issues that have been flagged. If you have to make good arguments in the competition that is to commence soon. So research is one of the skills, and in fact, what set apart the National Law School Bangalore, the first 5-year law program that was launched was with the National Law School way back in 1988, is the research, writing, and analytical skills. There is nothing else that we give that any other institution will not give. The project writing and the MOOT court exercises are an inherent part of the teaching methodology at the National Law School. And it is nice to see that all the institutions that have come thereafter have also built it into their own educational systems. And therefore, participating in these MOOT court competitions, developing your research skill is a good outcome. Whether you win or lose, that is a different matter. But if you work hard and prepared and done your thorough research, you can at least have the satisfaction that you've covered all the arguments there are to cover and that you're not missed out the points that you could have if you'd only taken the time to do your research. Second thing, of course, is your ability to present those arguments. Right? It is a great skill. One is to have an inherent ability, born with that gift in order to be able to talk well, present your arguments in a rational, clear, and precise manner. All of us talk. There are very few of us who talk with clarity. And that is also another important skill that you, if you intend to be lawyers, have to develop. And even if you're not going to be practicing in the court, even if you're going to be in law firms or research institutions, writing with clarity and preciseness is an important skill. And I hope that you all have applied that because your memorials are already submitted. And therefore, now is not the time when you can go and make that change. But if you've done it and if you keep doing it, trust me, if there's nothing else that you get out of your institutions, if you complete your courses, these will stand in good stead as you look around for jobs afterwards. Now, in all of this, an important part of law that is constantly emphasized, and Father D'Souza also talked about, is reasoned argument. All of us can argue, make a lot of noise. And we know it on a daily basis. I think nobody else argues and argues like Indians do. Anything and everything we have an argument for. We won't accept somebody else's statement without having argued it out. And we've got to be able to convince the other person that what you're saying is right. Reasoned argument based on logic is important. But one thing that I do beg to differ from Father D'Souza is that reason is impossible for any human being. We are not AIs. We are human beings with a heart and mind. There can be no one who is fully rational or fully emotional. Our reason has to be informed by emotion, and your emotions have to be based on reason. Otherwise, there'll be chaos and you fail. And in such an issue like the Uniform Civil Code, which affects different communities in this country, different genders in this country, cannot be simply argued on the basis of reason. Because it is a lot to do with the way people live, people's expectations. And if you're only going to dwell on reason, very good theoretically, but practically speaking, you will fail to win the people of this country to accept that the Uniform Civil Code is the way forward. Now, even when you talk about reason, we assume there is only one kind of reasoning. In this patriarchal world, there are other forms of reasoning besides, the masculine reasoning. The masculine reasoning isn't informed by the experiences of those who are different from them. And which is why feminists develop their own feminist legal methods. And I would invite every one of you to actually make the effort to read the works of Catherine McKinnon, a professor of law at the University of Michigan, Catherine Bartlett, who has written in detail about the feminist legal methods. Because if you assume that masculine reasoning alone is objective and neutral, you'll be completely wrong. It is masculine. There is nothing rational about it which is not informed by the emotional and mental makeup of men and men's lives, men's experiences. In the patriarchal world, women's experiences are very different. And if you take that to all the other genders, you can quite imagine what a variety of reasoning there will be because the practical experiences of all genders are different. Women's lives are not like the lives of men at all in the patriarchal world. Consequently, if we can keep in mind, even as we debate about the Uniform Civil Code, we've just had two very interesting judgments which have come out in recent times. And one of them, of course, is the most recent one, which talks about Muslim women's right to maintenance after divorce, that they can invoke Section 125 CRPC of the old criminal code. I still haven't been able to put my tongue around the new names for the new codes that have been recently enacted by our parliament. So it's an important thing, all right. The point to be kept in mind when we make our arguments for the Uniform Civil Code or any other gender justice matter is to ask these three questions. And in place of woman, you can substitute any marginalized person. The first thing that Catherine Bartlett puts forth is she says, ask the woman question. This is not going around asking every woman any question. It is ask the woman question. Please take note of that. It means asking what will be the consequence of this decision or this judgment or this law upon the lives of women. Theoretically, some of these things sound very good. But practically speaking, what is the impact on women's lives? How will it benefit them? Or will it cause adverse responses? And I just want to take a quick example from history. I'm a professor of history at the law school, and therefore, have a different insight into all of these things than what, law teachers might have. The Hindu Widow Remarriage Act. All of us studied, all of us, praise Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar for having fought for widows. Have you really read the act carefully and seen whether the Hindu Widow Remarriage Act of 1856 empowered women to go ahead and marry after their widowhood? Because after all, which community of women were prevented from remarriage after their husbands passed away? Only upper castes, and specifically Brahmins. All other castes permitted widow remarriage. But you know what the interesting thing about this Widow Remarriage Act was? If the purpose of that act was gender justice, then I don't understand why the British government made Section 4, included it in the act. What did it say? If a widow remarried, she would forfeit the property of her deceased husband and custody of the children born of that marriage. Now you tell me how many women would have gone and remarried. How many Brahmin widows actually remarried then or even now, for that matter? This is, about 150 years at least, if not nearly 200 years since this act was passed. How many Brahmin widows remarried? On the other hand, widows from communities that customarily permitted the widows to remarry, to keep the property of their deceased husband and their custody over their children, began to lose that right. Consequently, widow remarriage in these communities, the Shudra, Kshatriya, Vaishya communities, stopped. Which is why asking the woman question is an important part of any policy change or lawmaking that we want to do. Is this actually going to benefit women? Is it actually going to liberate women? Is it going to produce gender justice? If not, we're on the wrong path and we're pursuing the Uniform Civil Code for the wrong reasons. I'll come to the Uniform Civil Code and why it was, put into the Constitution a little later. The second feminist legal method is what is called feminist practical reasoning. It is based on the real-life experiences of women, which are vastly different from the real-life experiences of men. Women are almost the only caregivers. They are the ones who are nurturing and bringing up their children. And in addition to it, many women go out to work. So in other words, women are doing two jobs at the same time. So, when our esteemed Chief Justice of India said, if we introduce menstrual leave, nobody will employ women. I was wondering, what experience does he have of women's lives and women's experiences? What does he know about what menstruation is like for many women? How painful it is. I am now a liberated woman because I'm a postmenopausal woman, and I'm thanking God for it. Because I did not have any children, had no plans to have any children. So why I went through those, years and months of menstrual bleeding, which was extremely inconvenient and made my life so miserable, I don't know. But the fact is, you didn't even have the option to take days off, because it meant you would lose attendance. And if you're employed, you don't have, you have so little leave, especially in the private sector. You're supposed to just come to work anyway and keep going to the bathroom to change your pad, every 1 hour or 2 hours, depending on how your system works. And here is the Chief Justice of India saying that if we grant menstrual leave, people will not be employing women. That's what they said when the sexual harassment decision came out way back in 1997, when the Vishaka judgment came out. They said now nobody will want to employ women because everybody will be scared of, sexual harassment complaints being filed. Are you concerned about stopping sexual harassment, or are you worried that if we have women, we will have complaints? Why should the two go together? If women are in the working place, whether it's an educational institution or otherwise, why must sexual harassment be an inherent part of it? So feminist practical reasoning is a second method to be employed. Why should we have the Uniform Civil Code? How, will women be able to make use of it? Why is it that till now, we have not been able to ensure gender justice for women from different communities? These are questions to be asked. The third feminist legal method is consciousness raising, not raising the consciousness of women. Women know what's going on with them in relation to the men in their lives. Women know that the domestic violence, the sexual violence are not right. They just don't know how to deal with it in a world that is dominated by patriarchy. What we need is to understand that this is not an individual experience. If you look at the problems with the personal laws that we have, why is there no gender justice, whether it is Muslim personal law, Hindu personal law, Christian law, or the customary laws or anything else? If we don't understand the reasons behind it, just enacting another law isn't going to liberate the women of India. 77 years of independence, and women in India are yet to attain equality with men in real life. Constitution guarantees it, but that hasn't resulted in the transformation of women's lives. And that brings me to our constitution. The Indian constitution is one of the best constitutions in the world. Women and men who participated in drafting it were women and men who had participated in the national movement, who had been working amongst their different groups, elected them. Some of them, of course, were nominated. Consequently, they were people with farsightedness, and though they themselves had never lived in an equal society or a society where there was equality before the law and equal protection of the law, they aspired for an India where that would be the reality. And therefore, that constitution is a transformative constitution. A country under the British, which was riddled with caste, class, gender, and other discriminations, was now stepping into a new thing altogether on 15th August 1947, and particularly, of course, after 26th January 1950, when we adopted our constitution and it came into force. That constitutional values ought to have transformed our society completely. But that is not true. We still have a lot of inequality, discrimination, oppression, and exploitation that has been going on till date. In this constitution, the UCC was not included to bring about gender justice. Since the idea of India was new, the idea of being an Indian was new, they desired that people should think of themselves first as Indians and then as a Christian or a Tamilian or, a Gujarati or whatever else. It is with that intention that they included the need for a uniform civil code sometime in the future. During the 1960s and 70s, the women's movement in India clamored for the uniform civil code. Not so much out of concern for creating the oneness that was needed, but more for the purpose of gender justice. With that intention in mind, they campaigned for a uniform civil code, saying that the personal laws of the different communities discriminated against women in various ways. The Christian law did not permit a woman to get divorced unless she could prove adultery and cruelty. Proving one thing is difficult enough, and to be able to prove two things meant virtually that Christian women could not get divorced easily at all. The Hindu Guardianship and Wards Act doesn't allow the mother to be the natural guardian. She gives birth. She carries the fetus for 9 months. But at the end of it, the baby belongs to the husband and not to the wife. Muslim law, of course, we are all very thick because everybody's all the time beating them up. The fact that a man can marry 4 times, so that a man can go, triple talaq till the Supreme Court judgment, and the fact that followed. Besides the fact that only men can divorce and women's right to divorce is very limited. Customary laws, when everybody thinks tribal communities have equality, they have better rights in tribal communities, but it doesn't mean that they are, any more equal than the dominant communities that live in India. It is therefore with the purpose of gender justice in mind that the women's movement campaigned for a uniform civil code. Unfortunately, in 1990s came the rise and growth of the Hindu right, and consequently, the women's movement, had to withdraw because they hijacked the uniform civil code, not out of concern for gender justice. It was more about what they thought were privileges enjoyed by Muslim men that had to be stopped. And therefore, the women's movement gave up that campaign. So today, once again, it has come up, and we are beginning to, ask for this uniform civil code. It is not a bad thing by itself. Having one law for marriage, divorce, succession, inheritance, adoption, maintenance, etc. is a very good thing. Question is, are we going to enact a law that will incorporate the diverse interests of the diverse communities and genders in this country? Or this is again going to be another case of old wine in a new bottle? Because then it is not going to work. It is not going to result in gender justice. And it is not going to transform anything. Well, that is the intention of the Constitution of India. All the very best to you. I don't know what kind of arguments you're going to be making, but I hope that you will think about the need for gender justice, to respect, the desires, the likes and interests of different people. We don't have to like them just as much as we would like our rights, our culture, our interests to be protected. Just because they are different doesn't make them demons, whether it is the gay community or the minorities in India. And therefore, if we can be sensitive, argue with logic and reason, but with a bit of sensitivity and concern for the people who are the majority in this country. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your insightful comments. This event has become even more special because of your presence today.
I would now request Professor Dr. V.S. Elizabeth ma'am to declare the competition open by striking the gavel.
I think they have to shoot down. Should I say it or just? Okay. I declare the 4th National Moot Court Competition open.
To be brief of the event, there will be 6 rounds in total conducted. 16 teams will qualify from the preliminary rounds to the octa-final round on the basis of marks, whereas the next 8 teams will qualify to the quarter-final rounds on the basis of knockout, following which the first 4 teams will qualify to the semi-finals and the 2 teams will qualify for the final rounds on the basis of knockout.
Next, we have the presentation of the criteria for awards. To do the honors, please welcome Faculty Coordinator Mr. Zafar at St. who will brief us about the team awards and individual awards.
Good evening, everyone. Today we embark on a journey that not only tests the legal acumen, but also celebrates the essence of advocacy, research, and teamwork. As we begin with the competition, I would like to take a moment to highlight the various categories of awards bestowed upon the exceptional participants. These awards recognize and honor the skills and qualities essential in the legal profession. The awards have been categorized based upon the group and individual performances. For the group awards, we have winner awards for those who excel in all fields of research, drafting, and oral advocacy. Then there is runners-up for those who come second. Then second runners-up for those who occupy third place in the competition. Then best memorandum for the team that has drafted the best memorandum of the competition. For individual awards, we have Father Praveen Hoveraj Best Speaker Award. Then we have the Best Researcher Award. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, sir, for providing us with a framework to recognize outstanding performances. We look forward to celebrating the winners at the end of this competition.
We now request the chief guest to unveil the trophies for the winners of the 4th St. Joseph's College of Law National Moot Court Competition. I request Director Father Gerald D'Souza to accompany the chief guest. Now, it is time to express our gratitude. I welcome Ms. Abrishita Marak of the Moot Court Society at St. Joseph's College of Law to deliver the oath of thanks.
As we draw this remarkable inaugural ceremony to a close, it is my privilege and honor to propose this vote of thanks. First and foremost, I extend our deepest gratitude to our respected chief guest, Professor Dr. V.S. Elizabeth Ma'am. Having you here has truly enriched this event, and your thoughtful remarks have given us several new insights. We are immensely grateful for your time and your wavering support. I now request the Director and the Principal to felicitate our chief guest. Dear Father Director and Principal Ma'am, I extend sincere thanks to our Director, Father Reverend Gerald D'Souza, SJ, for our steadfast guidance and leadership, which continue to inspire and propel us forward. A special thanks goes to our respected Principal, Dr. Pauline Priya, whose dedicated commitment and leadership has played a crucial role in the success of this event. To our Vice Principal, Ms. Shobha, and our Finance Officer, Father Prashant, your continuous support is deeply appreciated. I would also like to extend our sincere gratitude to each and every faculty member for their consistent support in ensuring the success of this event. To the cultural community team, thank you for the soulful invocation that set a reverent and beautiful start to our ceremony. I also wholeheartedly thank our student coordinators, Ms. Sona Rajkumar, Mr. Ninad, Ms. Sagarika, Mr. Prajwal, Mr. Swapnil, and Mr. Chorizo. Your dedication is truly praiseworthy. We are also grateful to the faculty coordinators of the participating colleges for the unending support and encouraging their students to participate. Last but not the least, a big thank you to everyone who have participated and volunteered. Your fervor and spirit of competition made this event truly exceptional. Let us now look forward to a day marked by insightful discussion and collective dedication to justice and excellence. Thank you all once again for being part of this fourth National Moot Court competition at St. Joseph College of Law. Wishing everyone the best. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. It is indeed a collective effort that makes event like this possible. We now request the audience to raise their feet to mark the end of the inaugural event by singing the national anthem along with the college choir. We request the audience to keep standing as the dignitaries leave the auditorium. Please be seated. The draw plots will start at 6:30.